Well, last week, we talked about It, Chapter 1. So I guess it makes sense that this week, we're talking about It, Chapter 2. The new release that just came out in theaters. It's super long. People are talking about it. And so will we. On a very The Clown's Coming Back edition of the Review. Hey, look, it's Pennywise again.
Beep, beep, get on with it. No spoilers.
How long does it take you to kill 6 people?
Jesus. Hey, welcome to the Review Show 2. Small town dudes give you our big, dumb opinions. Short of the max extreme.
I'm 3 hours older.
Today we're going over it, part 2.
Part 2.
In chapter 2, some say. And that's going to be further on down the line.
Yeah.
Not right now.
And to wet your palates a little bit, I have developed another one of the JT's signature crackpot theories on what it's all about.
Perfect. Can't wait, because you haven't told me yet either.
I haven't told you.
You just said it was so good that you emailed another podcast
I
about
did.
it.
I'll go into more detail. I'll tell the story before we get into the review.
Okay.
But it is funny.
Great. I can't wait. But before we get into any of that, why don't we just dive into some news?
Troy,
JT?
can we dive into some news?
Nothing would suit me better.
You're wearing a suit right now.
I do every show.
You do. You dress to the nines.
That's right. I mean, I can't just have company come over and not me being
That's
dressed
true.
to impress.
You are the best host.
Thank you.
You are the host with the most.
Thank you. I'm always
Compared to C Danger, who is the hostess with the mostest.
That's right. That's right. I'm always in tuxes and tails.
True.
That's it.
You gotta have them tails, babe.
Gotta get them tails. I look like a classic pianist.
I'm glad you finished that word.
Why do we
Say, you took that turn at the last second.
pianist? Oh, classic penis.
Tuh.
So, GT, the news of the week. A lot going on in that TIFF. Tell you what, Toronto International Film Festival
Lots of
right
TIFF?
now. Lots of TIFF. TIFF for tat. Tell you this right now.
Uh-oh.
You know that Joker movie that came out at the Venice Film Festival.
8 minutes standing
That's right.
ovation.
That's right.
They just got done clapping for it.
It ends up being an average movie for you. It wasn't that full-on 10-minute standing ovation.
Not Once Upon a Time. Not that Once Upon a Time 10-minute.
That's right. And even that was like, eh. We need
Yeah.
a full-on 15-minute standing ovation for
Yeah.
you having a perfect movie.
We need a good 22-minute Family Matters on Hulu type ovation.
Okay. All
to
right.
really hammer it home.
That's like a perfect movie in your eyes. 22
perfect.
22-minute standing ovation.
Yeah.
That's an A+.
Minus commercial breaks.
Oh, of course.
Because you got to stop clapping during the commercial breaks. Otherwise, people can't see it.
I know. What are you doing? Anyway, that Joker movie, rompous applause. 8 minutes at least.
Rompous.
Rompous. Well,
People wearing rompers. It was
even
so rompous.
even you have to fully disrobe to pee. Rompers. What are you doing in them? Even after that, it was at an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Fresh. 85% fresh.
Okay.
Well, that TIFF
Tip bumped it up?
bumped it down.
Whoa.
That's right. Even though it's gaining a little bit of good word of mouth,
Yeah.
critics' reviews have it now at a 77%,
Oh my
JT.
gosh.
Dropping 8%.
Could this be some critical backlash, probably?
Could be some critical bullshit.
Oh, shit.
Critical backlash or bullshit. Hashtag it up on the at Review Pod.
Backlash.
Hashtag backlash, hashtag bullshit. Which one is it? Let us know.
Now, Troy, where are you landing on this? Because I know you've been pretty critical of it, hearing that it's not really taken from a lot of the subject material.
So, I saw another trailer for it today on the big screen.
On the big screen, okay.
On the big screen, the biggest screen of them all.
So it enveloped you.
It did at
so to say.
7.1 Dolby surround sound.
Yeah. You get that ovation?
You
get
bet
that
I
ovation?
did.
Oh,
Fucking
shit.
A.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's going to be a good time. The only thing I'm really kind of like leaning towards now is that it's like this guy's a piece of shit murderer type guy, and
Yeah.
everyone's kind of rooting for him.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh, what kind of message does that send? I guess.
Well, from what I've been hearing from certain reviews, they say that, like, you feel bad from the beginning, but then he does something to just totally 180 you, like, pretty early in the movie.
Pretty early in the movie. Okay.
Yeah. From
Okay.
what I've heard.
Okay.
I have not seen it yet.
Okay.
This is just what I've heard from certain reviews.
You mean you didn't go to that TIFF?
Did not go to the TIFF.
All right.
Could not make it to the TIFF.
Shoot.
My passport did not come in time.
Rats.
I was on the phone with the DMV being like, where the fuck?
I need to get to TIFF.
I gotta get TIFF!
They just stamped denied on
Yeah.
a piece of paper.
I can't
and gave
cross
it to
that maple curtain unless I got the TIFF. Unless I got my passport to go to the TIFF.
The maple curtain. I love it. More on TIFF, JT.
Okay.
Now, there's other movies playing up there, not just Joker. Ford versus Ferrari
I guess you can say that.
being one of them.
Yeah. I know you were looking forward to this.
It seems like a movie that I wouldn't normally like, but every trailer and even the poster has me, like, intrigued to see it.
They've just swooned you.
They have. I don't know. And it's getting favorable reviews. Good.
Okay.
It's not saying it's like the best movie ever.
Okay.
Even like a majority of them that I read,
Yeah.
of people from there, like it's a total dad movie
It's a dad
in the
movie.
best way possible. Like you'll go out of there being like, oh yeah, that's he had a lot of good things going under that hood. There's one reviewer even saying, I left there with a Kiss the Cook apron on. It was such a dad movie.
I left there with 6 kids.
But that still isn't detracting me at all. It sounds, they say the racing in it is awesome,
Sweet.
and there's a lot of it. So I'm like, okay,
Okay.
all right, I can do a good racing movie.
We're appreciating racing, getting into that Fast and Furious.
That's right. Yeah, it's in the loosest way possible.
In the extremely loosest way possible.
But color me even more intrigued, JT. That
All
Ford
right.
versus Ferrari's just got me. It's wet to my palate
Oh my god.
for a good maybe throwback old car movie.
Uh-oh.
Even
You're
though I
gonna force
don't,
me in the theaters for what we missed
maybe
for this? Oh shit.
maybe
I don't have to go this by myself. Molly's not gonna want to watch a car movie.
neither is Chelsea, but who knows?
We'll go together. We'll bro it out.
Yeah, we'll go flip some burgers after it.
Yep. We'll go to this and then we'll go to a strip club afterwards.
You went a totally different direction. I was gonna be like, we're gonna go buy white New Balances after this and mow the lawn. But you went a different direction, which is fine.
That's fine. Well, I mean, I'm more single out of the group. Not
I
single,
suppose
but
you are
more. I'm not married yet.
very good. Married with children. Then you
Loving
just
a
gotta,
marriage.
Then you just gotta buckle down, get those 4E New Balances, those extra wides.
Yep. Sit on the couch, put your hand down your pants.
That's right. It's
Yell
all
at
over
Peg.
then. It's all over. You know what? Hey, you want to have sex? You just want to go have a good night's sleep? Man, I'm already there.
Yeah. Save it for Monday,
enough-
Troy.
Enough
Save it
on
for
that
Monday.
shit. JT, you remember the Jersey Shore?
Do I? JWoww?
That's right.
Sammy Sweetheart? That's all I remember.
The situation?
The situation.
Speaking of the situation, JT.
What'd he do?
Well, him and his brother had a little scuffle with the law a few years ago.
Yeah.
With tax evasion.
Oh, that's good.
But if you're looking forward to the situation getting out of prison, 2020 is your end date.
Hey, all right.
That's some news that I have, and I'm crossing off the list.
the
I said it.
situation coming.
Situation.
2020.
Yeah, that's CUMMING. JT, the Russo brothers, made famous by doing
Avengers.
those Marvel series of
They
films.
put the shit on the map.
Boy, did it. They made the map, I would say.
They made the map even.
They did.
They
an
Lewis and Clark this shit?
I think they did an amazing job.
With Kevin Feige being the Pocahontas?
That's right. In the front of the boat.
Or Sacagawea.
Sacagawea. I was
I don't
all
wanna,
right there.
Okay,
I was right there with you.
I don't want to offend anybody.
Uncharted territory. They took it in, and they stuck the landing.
That's
if
true.
Some may say and agree with.
Some may say.
Some may say having it garner the biggest box office of all time.
Yeah.
With Avengers Endgame. Well, a recent interview came out and asked the Russo brothers, what would it take for you to come back to Marvel?
Yeah.
This is their response. What do you think? Well, actually, what do you think? What would it take for them to come back to Marvel?
A firm handshake.
Their answer may shock you.
Oh, God. Open up the tabloid.
Actually, no. It's not anything. It's not any amount of money. Well, it's probably the money. But
Yeah.
it's not any, like, odd deal. They just want to come back and do the same thing. Like, come back and do a multiple movie, like, sequel type
Okay.
deal. That's what they want to do, but only with the Fox properties that are coming in.
Oh.
They're a huge fan of
X-Men
the X-Men
and Fantastic Four.
and the Fantastic Four, and they said also the Silver Surfer as well.
Okay.
So if they could come back and do any of those,
I
they
would see
be,
that being like their next big tentpole thing.
Yeah.
Is like, because I think the next thing you could do that would be bigger than what they did is Galactus.
For sure. I would actually, I don't know what I'd like to see him in more, because I really like the way they distilled everything down in
Yeah.
all of their movies, and I think I would really like to see that with like an X-Men movie,
Oh yeah.
to make it like the most distilled like versions of one of those characters, because I'm not a huge X-Men fan.
Yeah.
But again, I would also really like to see him do a Fantastic Four movie as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know, JT, what I would like more.
It would be cool to see like an MCU type movie franchise with just the X-Men.
Yeah.
Everyone, like every X-Man gets their own movie, and then they come together in like.
Holy shit,
an
that's a lot of movies.
An X-Man movie. Well, they don't have to do everybody, but like some major ones.
Yeah.
And then they all come together in an X-Man movie, like everyone came together in an Avengers movie.
Sure. I wouldn't even mind if at one point they're like, I don't know, what's another movie coming up soon? Say Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
There's going to have a ton of eyes on it already.
Oh yeah.
And this isn't even a Russo brother involved. But like at one point Black Panther and like all of like Wakanda's down and out, and then all of a sudden whoosh overhead,
Sabretooth. No,
the freaking Blackbird from the X-Men swoops over and lands, and the X-Men just file out to help Wakanda.
Oh,
so
shit.
not only do you have like a ton of eyes on this movie for Black Panther,
Yeah.
you have like an X-Men just like secret cameo
Yeah.
appearance in it, just spurring off everything. I'd be
Okay.
pretty keen on that idea.
But then like the thing that I'm like taken back by from all of it is that like, so we've gone all this time. I think we either need like some kind of origin of it, or it's just like, so what were you doing all this time?
Yeah. I've thought about that
And then
before.
and then like, what are mutants compared to what people are in terms of like people that have powers?
I'm thinking about that with all the new stuff coming out, like Blade. I was like, oh, so I guess vampires are going to exist in the Marvel universe, and where have they been?
But I was liking the idea, like I remember hearing a long time ago that people had the idea that like when Thanos did the snap, it let off some kind of radiation that just like caused certain people to become quote unquote mutants.
Yeah. But then again, like, I'd like to have some mutants already, like, have been out and about and not just around for, like, 5 years.
Yeah, like Wolverine, it's like the thing that's cool about him is that he's been around for like 200 years.
Yeah. And even, like, the original group of X-Men, like Jean Grey and Scott Summers.
Yeah.
Like Iceman, Beast. I think I'm missing one. Angel. The original group, those are the original 5.
Yeah.
If they've been, like, around for a while, just doing, like, covert, mutant missions or whatever. But it's weird that they would never heard of, like, a Magneto or something like that.
Yeah.
Big, like, mutant terrorist type guy. Anyway, just food for thought. Fun stuff. Last bit of news I got, JT,
All right.
is a fun one.
Oh,
I actually
can't
posted
wait.
this to See Danger just mere minutes ago.
Yeah.
That Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey
Yeah.
are going to be starting an Office podcast. You might know them as Pam and Angela from The Office.
Yes.
And it's going to be entitled Office Ladies on the Earwolf Network.
That's nice.
Yes.
Are they just going to go like through the episodes or
I think they're going episode by episode weekly.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I'll
they're
probably
going to
listen to
give
that.
their insight on every episode and how it was like filming it and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how it will be. Obviously, it's not out yet.
Neat.
Neato. With that being out of Netflix's hands come
I know.
January.
Now you're going to have to get into the now you're forced to buy that NBC app.
Yeah, or at least go to Earwolf and listen to the Office Ladies podcast to rekindle your love for The Office.
But then how are you going to relive the episode?
If you're anything like me, you've seen the series fully 20 times.
Well, in my defense, Troy, I'm not you. I've not watched it 20 times.
What is wrong with you?
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm going to leave. This is my last episode. Troy's just going to talk to himself.
Jeez, I'm here in my friggin' tux, feeling like a total fool over here.
No. You did this all for me, and I feel like
Every
I'm not
week.
appreciating you enough.
We've done put near 300 eps.
every week.
Every week I've done this.
Yeah.
Don't be confused on the video ones where I'm not in one. That was an illusion.
He's Chris Angeling you.
That was a Facebook filter. Normal clothes.
Yeah, the normal clothes filter on Facebook. Yeah. Everyone knows that one.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Okay. That's it.
The end.
Yeah, I've always wanted, because it always seems like those podcasts where they do it on, like, TV shows where they go episode by episode, or, like, shows that I don't watch,
Uh-huh.
where I'm like, I want one where that I do watch.
Yeah. There's a lot of episodes of The Office.
There's a lot. Yes,
That's
there
a lot
is.
of episodes to do. Especially if you're, like, were on it and you could talk for, like, hours about just filming a certain episode. That's a long time. You couldn't even, like... I suppose you could do 2 in a sitting. Maybe 3
Maybe.
if you were, like, on a roll. But, like, how many episodes of The Office are there? And you could do that
So many.
however many times. That's a long commitment.
I'd be curious to hear more about, like, the later seasons, because it feels like they start getting pretty tested by the end of the series, where they're just like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of, like, near the end of the series.
I never hated it. Like, it definitely kind of loses, like, a little bit of charm after, like, Michael Scott leaves for sure.
I don't hate it, but it definitely feels like there's producers in the back being like, make it work.
Yeah.
We're still making money, make it work. Where, like, I feel like even, like, the cast is running out of ideas, like, trying to do banter with each other. Like, we've been talking for 9 years. What the fuck else do I have to say to each other?
There's 201 episodes, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, I don't know. I still like it. But I was actually surprised on, like, how early Michael Scott leaves. Like, he leaves in, like, season 5 or something like that, and there's, like, 9 seasons.
Jesus.
Yeah. I know. And then, like, Andy becomes the boss. And then he goes and films, like, Hangover 3 and is not there for half
so
the
they have to, like,
time.
make up some bullshit where he's not there.
But I think it all works. There's like James Spader's the boss for a while, and I think that's
I
kind
do
of
like
fun.
James Spader.
Yeah, Robert California.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Good stuff.
It does lose a lot of its luster when Michael Scott leaves, though. In my personal opinion.
I don't disagree. I don't think it's.
My
But some people
personal
just say it's
opinion.
straight bad, and I think they're wrong.
Well, okay. You can say that. Troy, Fargo Season 4. It's coming. It's coming, babe.
C-U-M-M-I-N.
See you, yeah. And they have a new cast member. Of course, we've talked already before that Chris Rock is supposed to be like the main person in this season. And they just casted Uzo Aduba. If you don't know who she is Crazy Eyes from Orange is the New Black.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be a prominent part in Fargo Season 4.
Great.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
See what they do with it.
I still need to watch seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah. 2 is weird but good.
Okay.
3, I'm not the biggest fan of.
Uh-oh.
So I want to see what they do with
Uh-oh.
4. But the thing with Fargo is that they tell their own story.
Are they all, like, they kind of slightly interweave with each other? Because the movie kind of interweaves with 1.
Yeah. Like they do references here and there with 2. I'm not sure about 3. 3 is just really out there. So I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it.
Very good.
Troy, J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
She's coming out in a movie called Hustlers this weekend.
That's right.
You want to see that, Troy?
Not necessarily,
Yeah.
but I've heard it's gotten, at least I was on Screen Rant earlier.
Yeah.
It's got 4 out of 5 stars.
I've heard decent reviews for it.
Same. It's like a bit of a revenge movie, but with a little bit of heart.
Good. Well, J-Lo making headlines in other ways too, saying that
God.
she.
Corduroy pillows.
Yeah.
Think about that.
God, now I just want to think about it.
That's one of my brother's favorite jokes. Do you hear about those corduroy pillows? They're making headlines.
Oh fuck. That is good.
He says it all the time. And now we just have to say the punchline to each other and we just crack up. They're making headlines.
Well, Troy, Jennifer Lopez is rumored to be the headline corduroy pillow act of the Super Bowl halftime show this
Holy
coming
shit.
year.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
She hasn't done much musically in a while, right? Last time I think I remember seeing her was like in an Iggy Azalea video. And that
Yeah, oh my
fucking
God.
song sucked. Big booty.
They are. I don't think the man upstairs is too thrilled with you talking shit about that Iggy Azalea.
Fuck Iggy Azalea. She sucks and is a hack.
Yeah,
Anyway,
she hasn't been around lately.
no, it's because she sucks and she's a hack.
Yeah.
So take that, God.
God.
I mean, unless you're a J-Lo fan, and then I apologize. She went from humble beginnings.
Yeah. You did bless her with certain assets, Troy. So I mean, come
Very
on.
good. She sang about him with that Iggy Azalea
She did.
song.
And
Big booty.
I'm pretty sure they like rubbed their asses. So much of that video was them rubbing their ass together.
Yeah, just a big wet ass. It's like
Yeah, getting their asses wet and rubbing them together. Like,
just
I love. That's the
clapping
thing.
together like big seals.
That's the thing that I love the most about like not being single anymore is that you can see like the things that like you can see like the things that like made you attracted to people in like a completely I don't care light.
Yeah,
Where I was like,
the
why
blinders
is
are
this-
off.
Yeah, like why is this woman getting her ass all wet and then rubbing it on another wet ass?
I know. That's all that video is big wet asses.
Yeah, it's just big wet asses rubbing up against each other.
That's it.
And then it's like, I mean, I guess I'd think that's hot.
A big wet ass.
Yeah, like that's when you know that you met someone that you need to stay with, where you're just like, What's all these big wet asses? I don't really care.
Yeah. Anyway, what was J-Lo doing?
No,
Oh,
she's gonna
halftime show.
Yeah, halftime show. She's gonna corduroy pillow the halftime show.
Great. Perfect.
Troy, have you ever seen the movie Tank Girl?
No, I never have.
I know, I've been curious to see it too.
Same.
But it seems like there might be a remake in the works.
Okay.
Starring Margot Robbie.
She is all up in everything.
She's in everything.
This last
Even
couple
like
years.
comic book related too.
She
So-
is just in everybody's business this last
Yeah.
couple years, huh?
I guess.
And she's
So-
been hot and cold, I think.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see in that new Emancipation of Harley Quinn movie, huh?
I know. Yeah, they had a bit of a preview for it.
I missed
and,
that. I saw right before we started filming that there was something about it, and I just didn't...
Oh, you didn't?
see
Why'd
it.
you get there late?
What?
To the movie late.
I didn't show it at
Really?
mine, yeah.
Oh, shit, they showed it in mine.
Huh.
Because they make it like a big thing where they make it about it. Where, like, it comes up where, like, you think the movie's going to start, and then Harley Quinn shows up and is like, aren't you sick of clowns? And they do a preview for the Emancipation movie.
It wasn't in mine. My movie just started
Oh, okay, well.
after the Rambo teaser.
I guess you got fucked then. Troy got some news on that Hawkeye show on Disney Plus.
Uh-huh.
Seems like they got their supposed Kate Bishop
Okay.
on board for it. Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld.
What do you think about that?
I'm in favor.
Seems like a good one.
Seems like a good one. That Disney can pull in
Disney
anybody
Plus
they want at this point.
knows how to cast.
Spare no expense.
Spare no expense.
Get that Haley Steinfeld all up in there.
Get in there. I'll be in there.
What even accent is that? Get all up in there.
Get all up in there. Troy, my last bit of news.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm with you.
And it's reboot news. I know how much you love reboots, Troy.
Reboot news.
Reboot for Paramount is looking to reboot Face Off.
Oh, I just thought about this movie the other day. I don't know why, but I did.
Yeah.
I remember why now. Anyway, go on. I'll tell you why I remember it in a minute.
Well, no, that's pretty much it.
Face Off, great. So, apparently John Travolta's in this new movie now that's awful.
I've heard. I know. I'm thinking about adding it to our possible
Oh, God.
leftover turkey.
So, I subscribed to Chris Stuckman movie reviews on YouTube, and
Yeah.
he did a full-on, like, hilariosity video of it. He was the only one in the theater to go see it, so he even filmed some parts of it on his phone to
God.
show his friends. It is bad. Like,
I love the idea. Like, this is so bad, I need to commit a crime.
yeah. And he said he did on YouTube publicly, which is, I think, a big mistake. Oh, well. At least it's the only person talking about the movie. I guess it's any good press. Or any press is good press. Yeah. But it looks bad. John Travolta's in it, overacting the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Directed by Fred Durst.
Yes, it's directed by Fred Durst.
Who I didn't know was not his first movie.
You thought he directed another movie?
He did direct another movie.
He did?
This is not his first. He did direct I've heard of. I'm gonna look it up right now. It's fucking stupid. How
is it Noises?
I don't remember. I'm looking up Fred Durst.
That fucking movie you made me watch about fucking car alarms?
It wasn't Noises. Fucking God.
The movie fucking sucks. That's up there as like the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
The Fanatic is the one that we're talking about.
Yeah, The Fanatic.
Now. He directed The Long Shots with Ice Cube.
What?
The Education of Charlie Banks.
What?
What?
I feel like I've heard of that one. Who's in it?
Jesse Eisenberg, Jason Ritter.
Fred Durst directed that?
That's what it says on IMDb.
I think IMDb's full of shit.
That's what I think too, because it's won like awards. Huh. Well, how do you like that? Anyway, This movie looks just completely awful. The Fanatic does. So anyway, I was thinking of like, man, he's really overacting. Has he ever worked with Nick Cage? And then I was like, yes.
Yeah.
He has.
He has.
Face Off.
Face Off is awesome.
I've never seen Face Off.
Oh, God.
And I've always kind of wanted to. And then I hit like a few points where I've seen footage of them like filming it. And I'm like, this seems like a bad movie. Is it a bad movie in a good way?
It is a bad movie in the best way.
Yeah. Okay. Hit us up on the Instagrams. We don't have Instagram.
Yeah.
Hit us up on the Twitters. Do we need to review Face Off
They
sometime?
try so hard to make it where it's like they've changed places, but it's like Nick Cage and John Travolta are not the same in any way. Like when Nick Cage plays the bad guy, he fucking plays the bad guy. And then John Travolta tries to be way too cool. Whereas, like, I want Nick Cage to go back to being the bad guy.
All right.
Nick Cage as Castor Troy is one of my favorite people to watch.
Do we need to review Face Off?
He's so fucking insane. I'm pretty sure the first time you see Nick Cage as Castor Troy, he's dressed as the Pope. And
God.
he's, like, shooting people.
Do we need to review Face Off? Hit us up at Review Pod. Just let us know. You're pushing me in that direction.
I would not be opposed to watching Face Off again.
So in the reboot, who would you want to be in the reboot of Face Off?
John Travolta and Nick Cage.
That's the perfect answer. There you go. Very good. I don't even know anybody who even comes close.
No shit.
Not,
Who's like
not
like
one person.
Maybe Joaquin Phoenix and
Woody Harrelson.
Who's someone? I would not be opposed.
But like they don't match the same type of insanity.
Yeah.
I don't think they exist.
You need two people that can be both insane and kind of level-headed. Because that's what they try to play with in Face Off.
Oh, God. Jared Leto.
Oh, no. Troy, you're going down a road that I cannot follow you.
And Jim Carrey.
He's just being character the whole time. He's gonna be able to get shit done.
Talking out of his ass. Replaces Jared Leto's face
replaces
with his
Jared
ass.
Leto. He replaces Jared Leto's face with his ass, and they can't tell the difference. They replace each other's asses, and they call it ass off. I want his ass off.
Call us. We got it. We got your perfect movie.
Well, Troy, it's done.
Perfect. It's done.
I only got one trailer.
I got two.
Okay.
I'll do the one because I know the other one you have is the same one I have.
Okay.
So I have an Apple TV Plus exclusive.
What?
So they have a trailer out called C, starring Jason Momoa.
Shit.
It's quite. They put a lot of money into this series. It looks like,
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a movie. I don't know. It's a movie or it's a series. Either way, it looks very expensive.
Yeah.
But it's about all of the world has gone blind. And it's kind of gone back to, like, almost tribal living.
Okay.
And then I think the children of Jason Momoa and wife are the first ones to be born with sight in a long time.
Yeah.
And so now all the people that have heard about it, because obviously they wouldn't have seen it,
Yeah.
are trying to get after these kids to either they're like the next coming of like civilization or they're a hindrance to what they already have going now.
Yeah.
So they're at each other's throats and it ends up being like a big war. So it looks okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be enough for me to get Apple TV Plus.
It sounds interesting.
It looks awesome. Like it looks like very well produced.
But yeah, but it's just a matter of like developing enough things where you're like, okay, I will buy Apple TV.
Yeah, and I have no interest in having anything else.
Yeah.
At this point,
And like all the things that I've heard of Apple TV so far, like they've been like greenlighting shows and then like canceling them immediately because they've been like a software company for so long. They don't really know how to like interact like public relations wise.
Oh.
Like how to like tackle issues.
Jeez.
Like they're more about like, hey, how do we make this more convenient as opposed to how do we address like homosexuality?
I literally haven't heard anything from Apple TV Plus in such a long time that I forgot it was
Yeah.
going to be a thing.
Like, what was I heard? They greenlit some. I think I heard this on Daily Zeitgeist, but I heard like they greenlit a show that was like about a guy that like got together with a bunch of other people about like, hey, let's go out and like shoot people. Like shoot up a bunch of people because we're white guys and we're sick of how we're being treated. And then Apple TV like greenlit it, and they were like,
"What are you doing?"
And then they were like, hey, could we kind of make this more about like the characters and not about like them shooting people up? And they're like, no, this is what the show's about. And then they just like canceled it after they already greenlit it. So that it's just like, so it's just like I think it's just like it seems like Apple TV is just like kind of like learning on the seat of their pants kind of thing.
I could see that. What a terrible idea for a show.
Yeah,
Holy
like it's
shit.
based
well,
on like some kind
I guess
of,
if you wanted to get eyes on it,
yeah,
it would.
let's fucking appeal to the fucking super right leaning
Holy shit.
fucks.
Fuck, it's not even like, it's just fucking anarchists at that point.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, Apple TV sounds like it sucks, but that trailer looks pretty good.
Well, maybe Apple TV will fucking drown and then this will get picked up by something
Anything
else.
Yeah. Maybe so. It'll be good.
That'll
Maybe.
be nice.
But maybe you could buy it on like iTunes or something like that.
Yeah, I'm before that.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Why not? The other one I have, which I think you also have, is
Yeah.
Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep.
And I'll let you have the floor.
All right, well, it seems like they're really drawing from the Stanley Kubrick Shining
Yeah.
in this, because it seems like a lot of, like, the flashbacks they do, like, heavily rely on this. But, I mean, it looks pretty interesting.
For, because I don't really remember a whole lot of The Shining.
Yeah.
But besides, like, the parts that harken back to The Shining, it looks like something completely new.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, if you wouldn't, like, I didn't even know it was, like, a, like, sequel,
Yeah.
quote unquote, to The
Yeah.
Shining until it showed, like, all the background, like, the back, history stuff.
Yeah. Like, I think, like, the movie The Shining was pretty grounded in what it was, and then this seems kind of way more far-fetched compared to what that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, the actual book The Shining is even more far-fetched than what the movie was.
Right.
Because I think I was, like, talking to Molly the other day about it, and she said that, like, it's so far from what the book is that Stephen King actually hated the Stanley Kubrick movie.
Good.
But then
I
there's like a
guess.
TV movie that's like it follows the book more, and I think that was like the first thing I saw growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
And there's like a part where like the topiaries come to life and
Yeah.
like attack the family.
I remember
Where
that
it's
was
like-
okay. No, what's fucked up because I remember seeing some of this at your house, and that's the only thing I can
'Cause
remember
I think
as well.
I recorded it like on a tape, and I would watch it.
Yeah, and I always get that TV movie mixed up with the Stanley Kubrick one, like parts of it.
Yeah.
Like they all mesh together, so
Yeah.
I'm looking for some part to happen when it never does.
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know if I remember this movie
Like
well at all or
the
not.
only real weird thing that happens in the Stanley Kubrick one is that Danny Torrance has The Shining and Jack Nicholson goes crazy. That's the only two real weird things that happen in this,
Yeah,
which I kind of prefer because it makes it more scary.
yeah.
Like if I was being attacked by a bunch of like animal bushes, I'd be like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yeah, for sure.
But now, like, with Dr. Sleep, it looks like they're kind of going more of a supernatural route where it's like this cult of people that want to eat people that have The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, where the fuck are you going with this shit? But it still looks like it's pretty decently made, and Ewan McGregor's always good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got me interested, but it's just like... It looks like almost one step removed, I guess, from what I understand The Shining to be.
Yeah.
At least personally.
And so
anyway.
much of it feels like fan service where it's like, we need to hide out in the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah.
It's like, the Overlook Hotel is so fucking far away. Like, why the fuck are you going there?
Who knows?
Like, what's so special about that place that you're going there? And then once you're there and then they find you, how the fuck are you going to fight them off because you're in the middle of fucking nowhere?
Yeah, especially with all that moving topiary.
Yeah.
Aggressively trying to eat you, or whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, it feels like fan service, but I mean, I'll probably check it out if it's getting good word of mouth.
Sure. Anything else? What do we got?
That's it.
Okay.
So, Troy,
Yes.
turn Miranda movies.
Yes.
We're into the final match, Troy.
Yes.
But before that,
Yes.
Troy,
Yes.
you're already giving me that face that you know
I
what's
am
coming.
upset with the internet.
You know what's coming. Yeah, so we have our last match being, of course, Collateral Beauty versus Mr. Magoo.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, despite your valiant efforts to try and fight it
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
Mr. Magoo
Yeah.
has moved on
I know.
in the Term Miranda movies.
Total horse shit.
Troy, I'm sorry. The people have spoken.
Yeah. People suck.
People and people suck.
I'm talking to you, OJ, and Eric
Yeah, oh.
specifically.
See, now,
You guys were out for blood.
a while back we were talking about how we were hoping those two would fight each other. But now it seems like they've come together just to fuck you over.
I know. I should never retweet any of these freaking tournaments because every time I do, it's mostly because the one I want to win is losing, and I'm like,
And then it just
we need
loses
more
worse.
votes.
And then once you retweet it, then it loses worse.
Oh my god! I even tried to like bribe people like emotionally.
Oh Jesus! I was gonna say, like, what do you?
Emotionally saying, "Hey,
I will
it's
love
my
you.
it's
if
my
you-
anniversary. Please give me a gift and
my
vote
anniversary."
for Collateral Beauty."
I always vote the opposite. Anytime
You
tweet a purpose, I
bitch.
vote Mr. Magoo.
Jesus!
God.
Magoo on you, bitch.
I love how
Magoo
I
on
love how
you.
right after you talked about how you were getting sympathy for it being your anniversary, you called your wife a bitch.
Sympathy for your anniversary.
Yeah, a sympathy vote
Why would you need sympathy?
because the Collateral Beauty was losing.
So you used our relationship as a pawn for a stupid movie bracket?
Yes.
Magoo on you, bitch.
Magoo on you.
Magoo on you, bitch.
There you go, Mr. Magoo
All right.
entering the tournament with one more match remaining.
Yeah. It was put near a landslide victory for Magoo, too.
Yeah, Magoo was really.
It was like
putting it away.
75-25. Roughly. The last time I looked
I
at
can
it.
look it up real quick and see how bad it lost. Let's see here real
God.
quick. Oh,
Fucking A.
That's right. Actually, it's pretty funny. Mr. Magoo won with 69%.
Great.
So, I
Perfect.
mean, the percentage is funny.
Yeah.
And we got one more match, Troy, before we get into our quarter 11 quarterfinals, where
Alright.
you, in fact, are putting together the brackets.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a film from 2011,
Uh-huh.
which is a, I'd call it a pretty decent dramedy.
Okay.
And a film from 2006, which is also based on a old-fashioned cartoon, but I think even beyond that, it's based more on a classic detective show.
Classic detective show from 2006.
So the film from 2011 I'll look it up real quick here. The tagline is...
50 Shades of Grey.
No, it's not. Quit looking at my shit.
Right having it out
I don't know
there.
why the fuck it's not... I heard it comes.
You don't want to watch Bondage with your best friend?
Yeah.
You guys love...
I think I brought it up before about doing
Oh,
50
right.
Shades of Grey, and then Troy turned it down.
I did. It's a bad movie.
The tagline is, it takes a pair to beat the odds.
Ah. What's the other one?
Let's guess this one first. Me, specifically, because you've probably seen it.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, duh. Is it, that one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it?
Yep, it's 50-50.
Thank you, yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Seth Rogen, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt has some kind of disease. where he
Cancer, I
has-
think.
Yeah.
He's got some sort of disease.
Ah, flash flood warning.
Cancer.
Shut up. And
Is the other one Get Smart?
it's not Get Smart.
That smells good.
Get Smart. I didn't like
Uh,
Get Smart so much.
God.
The film from 2006 about a detective. The tagline is "Get a clue," so it's not really gonna help you out.
Get a clue. It's a dumb one, Chelsea says.
Do you know what you saw it?
She was looking right over your
Quit
shoulder.
looking over at me, shit. All right, fair enough.
I don't know.
From this bitch.
It is the Steve Martin film, The Pink Panther.
Oh, I think I guessed that last week or something. As a different one.
As Inspector Clouseau.
Hmm. Okay.
It's got Beyonce in it.
Oh, okay.
Queen Bee herself.
Queen Bee. All
So
right.
50-50 versus The Pink Panther.
Okay.
Troy, what are you thinking for this one?
Well, I've never seen 50-50.
Okay.
I've seen the Pink Panther, but I remember nothing of it.
So it's good.
So it's good. So I don't know. Probably 50-50 I'm going to lean towards.
All right.
I'm going to lean towards that one.
Okay. So out of all the movies we have so far, Troy, we've got Smoking Aces.
Hold on. Let me write these down.
Yeah,
so
you got to write them down because next week you got to give me our first quarterfinal match.
Smokin' Aces.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
The best little whorehouse in Texas.
Whore Texas.
V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta.
Three Amigos.
Three Amigos.
This is the end.
Okay.
Mr. Magoo. And then the winner of 50-50 versus the Pink Panther.
Very good. I'll just add that one to the winner line next week. All right. And
So out of all these, Troy, what's your favorite still? Best Little Whorehouse in
I
Texas?
think I'm also, I'm going for Whore Texas right now.
Whore Texas.
Whore Texas. I think
All
that's
right.
what it's going to take the whole thing.
So that's
I'm
what-
hoping anyway.
Troy is hoping wins the review tournament of Random Movies 7.
That's right.
So
Next week when we get that winner for that one, we'll do a good old shuffle up.
it's almost fitting that we're gonna reveal the first matchup for the quarterfinal next week because we're gonna be talking about the review tournament Random Movies 6 winner
Oh,
next week.
God. Oh,
It's like
My-
serendipity.
God.
It's like serendipity.
Serendipity.
Well, there you go, Troy. That's
All right.
that's all I got for you.
Very good, very good. So that'll put us right at the top of the hour,
Oh,
JT.
but it's not up the hour there, Troy.
Oh, my God, not at all at the real clock.
Not really.
Well, JT, before we get into... Do you want to get into the stats and then your story?
Sure.
All right. Dropping September 6th, 2019, with a budget of $79 million.
My God.
Opening weekend, this thing made $91 million.
Yeah.
Domestically, so far as of September 10th, it's made $104.5 million worldwide, raking in $198.5 million.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes has this at 63%.
Ooh, a little
A
low.
little low. IMDb 7.1 out of 10. Metacritic 58%.
Wow.
Wow. Horror World gives this 5 out of 10, and Full Moon Reviews 3 out of 4 howls.
That's not bad.
Not bad. That one's probably
That's probably the most.
the highest one so far. 3 out of 4 howls.
3 or 4 howls.
I'm trying to compare that to what Chapter 1 did, if I can find it in my guide.
I feel like Chapter 1 did better all around, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Chapter 1, just Rotten Tomatoes has it beat by like 23 points.
Jesus.
IMDb's almost right on, still a little bit higher. That one was at 7.4 out of 10. This one's
Yeah.
7.1.
Yeah.
I didn't write down Metacritic's, but all of them are fairly high
Gotcha.
compared to this one.
Gotcha.
That's right. That's it. That's all I got for the stats. So
All
what's
right,
that
Trent.
story?
All right. So, I said at the top of the show that I developed a crackpot theory on what I think the entire It series means. And me and Molly will do a thing usually where, like, during the week we'll go to a Mexican restaurant called Los Aztecas.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just sit and, like, talk about stuff. And since we came from a movie, I gave her my crackpot theory
Yeah.
to what her response to it was. It's interesting, but I don't see it.
Okay.
I was like, okay, whatever. And then that night, for some reason, I just had terrible fucking heartburn
From the
I
Los
just-
Aztecas?
from Los Aztecas. Plus, I also got popcorn with butter at the theater.
Ah.
So I feel like they kind of mixed in a big, like, lava concoction within inside my guts.
You're such an old man.
I
You're
know.
an older man than I am.
It
Constitutionally, anyway.
It sucks. Like, I feel if I roll a certain way, I need to take a Tums. It fucking sucks.
I literally put, like, ghost pepper sauce on my friggin' pizza tonight.
God damn it.
It was delicious.
I would love your body right now.
Except if I have too many sugary drinks. They'll put me out.
Gotcha.
Put me on the couch.
Gotcha. Well, anyways, I woke up like at 3 a.m, could not get back to sleep because my fucking entire midsection was on fire.
Uh-huh.
And there's a podcast I listen to called Double Toasted, where they review movies, and every once in a while they'll bring up like crackpot theories like mine,
Uh-huh.
where they'll talk about them like in depth and kind of like overanalyze things and stuff. So I was like, okay, I can't sleep. I got this thing rattling around in my brain. I need to tell somebody. What if I just send an email to this podcast I listen to, and then maybe it'll give them something to talk about on their next show. I'm doing them a favor.
Right. All right, giving them material.
I'm giving them material.
That's right.
Like, I got this thing that I thought about. Maybe you guys might appreciate it. Here you go. So I laid it out, sent them an email, press send.
Uh-huh.
This was like at 4 a.m. because I couldn't sleep.
Uh-huh.
So usually I have to wait. Like, they do a show on Sundays. So on that Monday, I was at work and I listened to their show, and then out of nowhere, they bring up in like a 10-second stint about how some dude sent him a what was it?
Some bullshit.
It wasn't a bullshit. It was like some guy sent me a fucking thesis statement about some fucking. He sent me a fucking sent a thesis statement about it. Yeah, like really overanalyzed a fucking movie about a clown, and then they went on talking about how I have no life for 10 seconds, and then they moved on. But it totally made my day. So I was like, okay, well, hey, you saw it.
Very
That's
good.
that's all I cared about.
Very good.
So yeah, so on two different ends, people have criticized me for my idea, but I still think it's good, and I'll bring it up once we start getting into the review.
Okay. Well, JT, if you wouldn't mind,
Yeah.
what's It Chapter 2 all about?
It Chapter 2 is about the Losers Club,
Mm-hmm.
and they've all gone their separate ways 27 years later after the events of the first film, where it seems like it's all happening all over again when Mike, who stayed behind after all the Losers Club moved away, is messaging him individually saying that shit's going down and you need to come back to Derry.
That's right.
And as they come back, they start to get back those old feelings they had when they were kids, And they start seeing those old, crazy things they saw back when Pennywise was terrorizing them, leading to believe, what will it take to finally put this Pennywise problem to bed?
That's right. It Chapter 2.
It Chapter 2. And they do it for 3 fucking hours.
Oh my god. So this movie is not quite 3 hours long. It is 10 minutes shy of 3 hours.
Oh, bless them.
I'll give it this. I was never really bored
No.
during the movie.
I wasn't like I didn't realize it was going really long until like the very end.
Yeah, me
like
too.
when they were having that final battle of Pennywise, and they were doing shit where it was like, but it's not over yet. Where I was like, geez, well then fucking, what the fuck is it gonna take?
Yeah. So, I guess a little bit spoiler free here.
Yeah.
Just the beginning. The runtime, I knew going in, I'm just like, holy shit, this is going to be a long fucking movie. So I strapped in. I actually had to go to the bathroom halfway through, and I knew the runtime was 3 hours, so I took that chance to go to the bathroom during like a slower scene.
Yeah.
But like an hour and 15 minutes into this film, they're finally getting to their like token hunt. If anyone's seen the film, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
An hour and 15 minutes into the film.
Yeah. Yep.
This movie also has like a cold open that happens at this carnival.
Yeah. It's pretty disturbing.
It is pretty disturbing. I like the scene in general.
Yeah.
But it never really ties back into the movie at all.
Not really.
I think it could have been cut.
Yeah. And I know Molly's told me that it is a scene that plays out in the book.
That's fine.
Yeah. But it's like...
There's a lot of shit in the book
and it's
that's
fucking
not in the
Stephen
movie.
King, where it's like Stephen King had a fucking chapter that was seen through the eyes of a fucking cat. You don't need to fucking do everything.
Yeah. I was never bored during the movie. There's some scenes I really liked, but even as they were going on in the beginning, that first hour, 20 minutes or so, I'm just like, do they need this?
Yeah.
Do they need this part? That's where I think a big chunk of it could be cut.
Yeah.
And then
Like a lot of it
for
was
another 40 minutes after that, they're doing pretty much all of one thing.
yeah.
And then after that is like the finale. It's like a pretty like easy, clean 3-act
yeah.
movie.
Like I heard that this is like a weird horror reimagining of like Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, kind of.
Where it's just like everyone realizes some shit went down. They all come together. They all realize they need to go their separate ways to find out a way to end this, and then they all come together at the end to end it.
Yeah. And it's not like it's that much different, I guess, than like the television movie. So much as
Oh,
like
it is?
not that much different.
Really? Did you see it?
I've seen enough of it.
Okay.
Okay, so it is different in the fact that like this is better.
Okay.
And
That
if you were to
works.
take both pieces and put them together, like parts 1 and 2 of both filmings of it, this has 2 hours on the television movie. It's
Yeah.
2 hours longer than the
Really?
television movie.
Jesus Christ!
Not just part 2. If you put 1 and 2 together,
Yeah.
of like the 2017
Yeah.
and this one, and then
Yep.
the television movie,
Yeah.
it's a full-on another night of a movie
Jesus.
than the first like 1990 version.
So the 1991 is 2 hours long?
I don't know if it's together like 3 hours maybe, like 2 90-minute chunks.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, because all this together would be 5 hours.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's 5 hours.
Yeah.
Together. It's fucked.
Yeah.
And I also posted on Twitter just like as I was in the theater, like, why does this movie need to be 3 hours long?
Yeah.
And some people did respond to me, God bless you.
Yeah.
And some people asked, like, do I even need to see the first one? And I'm like, I don't know if you really do.
I think you do.
I disagree.
No, I think to get all of it, like to really get like the impact of like what's going on, I think you need to see the first one.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of...
okay, to get, like, all of it
Like,
100%
you
complete.
I think you can watch the second one if you really want to by itself, but I think to really get the impact of things that they bring up again, I think you need to watch the first one first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll say this. It would be more of enjoyable of experience to watch the first one first and then go into the second one. But if you were to just go into the second one, I think you'd be able to pick up enough from what they reiterate in this movie, which I think they do a lot of.
Yeah, they do.
That you wouldn't necessarily be lost.
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to watch like a 6-minute recap on YouTube and then go.
Yeah, you
But
could
let
do
me
that.
tell you this, I enjoyed the first one more than this one.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know why you'd want to not watch the first one.
Yeah. I know. I do think the first one is better than this one. But I think it's mainly based on the fact that this one is so long.
I have a few, like, I really enjoyed the kids' camaraderie in the first movie
No, yeah.
more than I liked the adults in this. And I like the adult actors,
Yeah.
but I think the kids meshed better than the adults did.
Yeah.
Some of them, the adults, some of them I couldn't remember who was who
Yeah.
from the kids, and I had to like look them up on IMDb as I was watching the movie.
But that's the thing. I think the adults were super well cast in this.
I
Holy
think they're well
shit.
cast. It's a stellar cast. I just
Yeah.
don't think they work. I just wasn't into them as much as.
But I think the adults operate more separate than the kids did in the movie. Like when the
Yeah,
kids were separate
yeah.
in the movie, then they jumped time
Yeah.
to where they're back together again.
Yeah.
Like in this, like the adults spend a lot more time separate from each other.
Yeah.
To do the whole like they have to find their token shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like like, I can see where you're coming from in terms of like they don't seem to work as well together as a group, but they don't spend a lot of the movie together as a group.
That's true. Well, they spend almost. Well, no, that's not true. Because I was going to say it takes them a long time to all get rallied and get back to Derry. Like almost 40 minutes of the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then for another 40 minutes, they're off doing their own kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that only leaves
So
like
it's
an
like
extra hour.
So it's almost like you kind of need the first one to see how well they work together as kids to kind of get like what their relationship is as adults. And you kind of have to like really put together that these kids are these adults.
Yeah.
Because they don't really spend a lot of time together as adults.
Right. What did you think of the actual like horror aspects of the movie?
I mean, it was well produced, but it was
Yeah.
like again like how I felt about the first one that I brought up in our last show. Like it feels like you don't really get that whole idea of like what's real and what isn't.
Yeah, when you said that last week, it made me go into this the same way. I'm like, so some parts, like, so one part in this, one of the characters, Eddie, like meets like what you would assume is like a hallucination, but he comes out of it just fucking gross
Yeah,
and full of slime or whatever.
yeah,
And then other parts, it's a complete hallucination.
yeah,
And so I'm like, what's real? Like, does anyone see this?
yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I know.
I
There-
can't. I
there's
don't
even-
get how Pennywise works.
Yeah, and there's even like a part at the end when like Beverly is like drowning in like a big thing of blood, and then it's like, is this real? And then she comes out of it, but then she's still covered in blood. Where I was like, was it real?
I can never tell.
Yeah,
And like some of it, like I don't think the horror worked as well in this as it did the first one.
yeah,
It almost played off as more just suspense.
yeah. This
when,
one,
when are they going to get out of
yeah,
it?
like this one felt more like really cool looking set pieces, as opposed to like really establishing a horror, like a horror scene.
Yeah. And then some of it, I think the CGI isn't spot on either.
Yeah,
You know, so there is a scene where Jessica Chastain's character, Bev, goes to try to see her old apartment, and she meets that old lady, and it's like a teaser trailer
yeah, yep, yeah,
The reveal in that, I think the CG is kind of bad.
Yeah, it looked like fuck. I'm trying to remember what it looked like. But yeah, once she reveals like herself in her true form, it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, exactly. And I was waiting for it because I was getting kind of like on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
As much as you can in a recliner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, here it comes. And then she like bursts out of the shadow, and I'm like, oh, okay. And there's other parts in this too that are kind of the same, like near the end.
Mm-hmm.
Where I wouldn't say it's like just bad. It's just like, I guess you only spent $79 million on this, and most of it's probably for actors, like budgets. Another thing I wanted to bring up too is that I really like Bill Hader and who's the actor? Eddie.
Yeah, the guy that played Eddie.
Richie and Eddie.
Yeah.
Are really good together again in this as the adults, but sometimes when they are jokey,
it's like in a situation where it's like you should not be joking right now.
And like some people even call that out. It's like now is not the time for that.
Yeah.
But it's just, it kind of takes the piss out of the scene sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And
no,
I'm like,
I get that.
Whereas when the kids did it, it was like they were kind of bickering at each other, and it worked because they're kids.
Yeah, and like with kids, you can explain it away where it's like kids don't really fully understand the
gravity of it.
Yeah, the gravity of like what you're going through.
But even then, I don't even remember like it happening on like a fairly serious moment. Like they need to be in this moment. Like I don't remember them making like I fucked your mom jokes during it. Whereas like it happened in this, and I was almost getting sick of it. Like I'm like, you're breaking. I know you're trying to like break the tension to like build it back up again, but I don't think it was in the right way.
Yeah. Like, they were trying to break the tension when they were trying to still build the tension.
Yes. And it just kind of, you had to start over halfway through, and I never got back.
Yep.
Really settled back into it until it was almost too late.
Oh, no, I feel you on that.
But I really like Bill Hader in it at points in this.
Yeah. And I really like the guy that played Eddie.
Me too.
I feel like, especially coming so fresh off of the first It, like, the guy that plays Eddie in this looks so much like an older version of the kid that plays Eddie in the first one.
For sure.
Like, it's like they fucking cloned him and aged him like 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, how the fuck? And like he even does like that weird like lip curl that the Eddie did in the first one too, where you're like, God damn it. Like it's like you just aged the fucking kid from the first one.
Yeah. Out of everybody, he was like, you could tell if that's who the character was supposed to be.
Yeah, out of everyone, he was the one that I saw where I was like, I can't stop seeing the kid from how you look.
Yes.
Everyone else looked like an act like
yeah, you're close enough.
Yeah, like okay, yeah, that's fine. But he was like, "Oh, you're the older version of the kid."
Yeah, for sure. You know what's funny about this that I found out is that they actually had to go back in the like flashback scenes in this where they showed the kids again and de-age the kids.
Really?
Because
I'm sure.
In 2 years,
the
kids aged noticeably.
There was a few times where they showed the kids where I was like, you seem older than how you should right now.
I didn't just super recently rewatch the first part. So like I didn't
like it's
notice
just a tad bit where it was like you look a year older. Like, and it's like you look a year older and it's supposed to be like the same year.
So like I thought a few times like Finn Wolfhard, the guy who plays Richie, who's in also Stranger Things, looked weird. I'm like, did they almost like Facebook filtered his head or something like that?
Yeah, a tiny bit.
And I was like, maybe I'm just
everyone
forgetting
in the
this.
Losers Club looks taller in this.
Right.
I'll say that.
Okay.
Like there's times where like they're standing next to things where I was like, I don't think you measured up to that in that way in the first movie, because they do revisit old location in the first one. And it's just like, I don't know if it's just my brain telling me because I saw it so soon to this, where I was like, you seem way taller than before.
Like, the kid who plays Bill is probably taller than actual James McAvoy.
Bill looks like he's aged a lot since like the first movie.
Yeah.
Because he looks like he looks like a goddamn like junior in high school sometimes, where like he stands over people where I'm like, you look tall as shit.
So James McAvoy's only like 5'7", I think. The kid who plays Bill's probably in real life 6'2".
Someone just cut his ankles off at like an early age.
Oh man, is there anything else like spoiler free that you wanted to get into this? Oh, actually, I wanted to say like so Bill Hader, this is the first time he's ever been in a horror movie.
Yeah.
And so anytime he got to like the actual horror aspects of it, he didn't know how to like react so much, so he would just nervously laugh. And they had to do a bunch of retakes. They're like, "You need to act scared, Bill." And he's like, "Oh, okay, sorry, bummer." And then he actually didn't know that Bill Skarsgård could make his eyes go cockeyed.
Yeah, there's like a meme online where they showed like him like joking around with Bill Skarsgård, and then like him showing him how his eyes move, and then like Bill Hader getting like fucking terrified.
So I didn't know that, but I just found that out, and that really brightens my day.
Yeah.
Also, Bill Skarsgård, he said he had a lot more fun on set during this one because he actually could interact with the actors.
Yeah.
And not like, because then I guess in the first one he was told to like shy away from the kid actors to like, so when he was actually on screen he would really legit scare them.
Yeah.
Which seems cruel. Now that I say it, it seems very cruel to do that. But then in this one, because they're all just adult actors, he would like grab ass with them on like set and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that seems even cooler because they're
And
probably.
he's really good as Pennywise in this again too.
Yeah, he's only in it for 10 whole minutes though.
Really?
That's it.
It feels like he was in it more.
He was sprinkled in it way more than he was in the first one. The first one he only has like 4 minutes of dialogue. I don't know how actual screen time he has, but in this he's like only in it for 10 minutes.
Jesus.
I know. A good amount of time because I thought he was in it throughout pretty much the whole movie.
But yeah, he's
Unless they are just counting like the clown portions of it. I don't know.
But no, he's good in it.
Yeah.
Like he's a really good Pennywise. And also so the guy that plays Mike,
Yeah.
Isaiah Mustafa,
Yeah.
is the fucking Old Spice guy.
Okay, I thought it was, and I'm like, I wanted to be like, Isaiah Mustafa, that sounds like a familiar name. I think it's the Old Spice guy, but I don't want to say that and seem racist if it's not. You know what I mean?
The Old Spice guy.
Thank God it is. Because I actually had the fear of bringing that up to you, be like, I think that's the Old Spice guy, and you're like, no,
yeah,
it's
nowhere
not.
near Troy.
And
You're
I'm like,
fucking racist.
fuck, I'm a racist.
No, it's the Old Spice guy. But he was
God.
really good in this too.
Yeah.
Like I like the fact that he was like the only guy that was left that stayed in Derry while everyone left.
Mm-hmm.
And like he even had like vocal mannerisms that like the Mike from the first one had, where like he didn't like look so much like him, so I was like, okay, you're not Mike. But then like he would talk like him in a way where I was like, oh shit, are you Mike?
Well, it's easier to tell which one's Mike.
No, I get it, but like I appreciate like I feel like this like watching these back to back I think would really be good because I feel like the adult actors in this, even though they don't interact with each other as much as the kids do, like I really appreciated how they interacted with each other in this because they really take on like the aspects of the kid actors.
Yeah.
Where like if you watch both movies back to back, it doesn't feel like they've really missed a beat when they get together, so you don't really feel like these adult actors are much different from what the kid actors are like.
And I heard that was like a deliberate choice to actually attempt to do with the adults, like kind of getting to know like the cadences of the kids and stuff, so you didn't feel like that disconnect.
Yeah.
And I actually thought all of them did a really good job.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Like I really like the fact that I saw this so close to the second one because I don't even think I would have appreciated it as much.
Yeah.
If I would have held off watching the first one.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we jump into some spoiler stuff since we've gotten so far?
All right.
Would you recommend people to go to the theater to see this?
if you're a really, 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 really big fan of the first one, I think you'll like this.
Okay.
But it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
3 hours. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe wait to rent it. Maybe. But I think if you really liked what they did with the first one, this wraps up the story of the first one, but it does it for a while.
Yeah. I'm on the fence on whether to go to the theater or not to see it. I'll just say
Gotcha.
check it out at home. That would be my for sure stance on it. Or
Okay.
catch it at a matinee.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I caught it at a matinee today for $5. I didn't feel like my money was
Yeah,
like unwisely spent.
yeah.
Because that's about as much as you could rent it for if you're getting it off like friggin' Amazon anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So just go see it on the big screen then for $5. So spoilers from here on out.
Spoilers from here on out.
Not that anything really can be spoiled about it. It's been a book for years.
Yeah.
But like, so one thing I wanted to bring up is that Stephen King has a cameo in this.
Oh yeah, and I love they beat to death like the whole joke about how Stephen King sucks at making endings.
Oh my god, that's one of my notes in this is that the ending sucks. They bring that up like a billion times in this. It's one of the things they just beat like a dead horse.
Yeah, fuck. James McAvoy, Bill in this is a screenwriter, or no, he was a writer, but for like books and shit. And then they always bring up where it's like your books are really good, you just make really shitty endings.
Right.
And they even get to a point where like he goes to a pawn shop, and Stephen King is the owner of the pawn shop that he himself even says your endings suck. Where it's like, oh god, you've gotten to that point now where you have to make fun of yourself.
God, you're so meta, Stephen King. I really thought though I was waiting for him to be like Pennywise though. Were you? Like when
Really?
he gets the bike, because it's during the whole token grabbing
yep,
scene,
yeah.
and everyone's kind of running into him here and there in like a flashback and stuff.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Stephen King to be like, "Well, I'll just see what I got in the back," and come out and he's like, "Ah! Look at me! I'm a scary man." But it never happened. He's just full on Stephen King. in
Yep,
it.
yeah.
So I don't know. It didn't really take me out of the movie or anything. I'm like, oh, look at that. He's Stephen King in it. He's a creepy old dude.
Yeah.
What about that creepy old dude that was at the pharmacy?
He was in the first one.
I know, but like,
Yeah.
what a creepy fucker, right?
Well, he was creepy in the first one too.
Because
he was the
why
one
would
that
anyone let him continue to run
Yeah.
a pharmacy?
He was the one that talked about how like Beverly looked like a celebrity or something, and was like really like hammering it home that she's hot when she was like fucking 14 years old.
God, like when Eddie comes up and gets an inhaler prescription, and he like goes and squeezes that mole on Eddie's face, I felt like he was just gonna eat whatever popped out of that shit. I was gonna like, that you are fucking gross, old man.
And they also
You
like
need to be put out of your misery.
They also had like a gross chick that worked behind the counter too, who was also in the first one as like
Yeah.
a woman. Like she was the one that like wrote "loser" on Eddie's cast,
Right.
when he broke his arm.
What a bitch. She hasn't really
Yeah,
moved
no
on.
one in this town has really moved on. Like I think that's the thing I appreciate the most about this like series is like I feel like you get a little bit out of it more if you've grown up in a small town,
Yeah.
because you kind of get those that feeling of like people that grow up in a town like that where like they are just like they never leave,
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but no, like those people that are like they don't ever leave and they're just like just become weirder and weirder as like the years go on.
Yeah. What also gets me about this town is that like horrible murders happen and just seems everyone's fine with still living there.
Yeah. Well, that goes with my I'll talk about that later in my theory.
Oh my god, maybe I'm just salting the little appetizer here.
Yeah. But no, I get that too. Like in terms of like taking it as for face value, it's just like it feels like you do realize that like kids go missing every 27 years, and you're just like, well,
Shit the bed.
it is what it is.
Kid lost his arm, got sucked into a sewer.
Wasn't my fucking kid. I don't care.
Oh my god. Also, in the first one, it does show that, like, more kids and stuff have been, like, eaten and shit. But
Yeah.
it doesn't really specifically show that outside of the core group,
Yeah.
right? And in this, it does. With that, like, girl under the bleachers.
Yep.
And
Well, there's even like a scene in the beginning where like Pennywise eats like a full-grown adult man.
yeah. And so, like, that kind of put me back into it right there. I'm like, oh, I guess things do happen outside of, like, the core group.
Yeah.
But, like, it just seems like all that shit's, like, not important because it doesn't happen to, like, your
The
loser
Yeah,
club.
the loser club.
So
I know,
that,
like, to take this for face value, it is like I still have the same complaints as the first one, where it's like, what is Pennywise's fucking deal? Like, what is he going? What does he want to accomplish?
yeah.
Because the whole fucking time
He's
he
a
could-
world eater.
There's so much fucking shit where it's like you have them dead to rights, and he's just like, I'm gonna keep fucking doing this shit. Where you're
Yeah.
like, you could have killed them,
Uh-huh.
and they get away. Where, like, it's the same. I think it's like the same complaint I had from the first one. But then, like, when I realized what I feel like they're saying, then I understood it more.
Okay.
Based on what
in your
I-
own continuity.
In my own continuity, I feel like it makes more sense.
I feel like, but that's what I would have to rationalize it as too, is like, so you call yourself an eater of worlds at the end of this,
Yeah.
and you can, what seems to do almost anything.
Yeah.
Why don't you just full on devour this town?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, you seem to have, like, nothing stopping you.
Yeah.
And you just fucking dick around with all these people that are 30 years old when you were 1,000,000 years old.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are
Yeah.
you fucking around for? I don't get it.
Yeah. And it's taking this whole series for face value, it's frustrating. And I feel like that's probably the main reason why I came up with my crackpot theory, because I need something to make all this make sense. Because taking it for face value as a clown eating people, this thing makes no fucking sense.
So, in Bev's, like, little token scene where she goes and revisits that old lady,
Yeah.
it, like, shows a man that looks like he grew up in a circus. That's not real, right? That was just, like, a fabrication?
It might be, because I know they say that he takes different forms as he goes throughout the years.
Yeah. And even on that wagon in the picture, it said Pennywise the Clown on it.
Yeah.
And it looked very much like Pennywise the Clown.
Yeah.
But was that woman even real?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, is the woman real? Is it actually his daughter? Did he fuck a chick?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I have no interest in reading it because it's like 1,300 pages long.
Yeah.
And I really, at this point in my life, have no interest in reading anything of Stephen King.
Yeah.
I heard his short stories are great. And maybe I'll read some short stories from it. But I think his, like, movie adaptations of it cut the fat and some whatever horse shit you wanted to do in these books, because it was the 80s and you were on so much cocaine and you had a fucking ponytail. That, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would ever even read a book to get what even it was about.
Yeah. And this, I guess, I was talking to Molly after we watched this and stuff, and this, I think she said that he wrote this after his car accident, too. And she said there's, like, a vast difference in his writing from before the car accident and after the car accident, where, like, his brain just takes a completely different turn.
Like an
and, like,
insane turn?
yeah. Where it's like, she read it and she was like, I don't even understand what the fuck it was about.
The only reason I would want to dive in is sheer curiosity.
I know. And I'm
But, like,
kinda
I
into,
do
but-
not want to spend the time reading the book.
And like I said, like she said there's an entire chapter where they just show it through the perspective of a cat. Like, there's not really anything that happens in that chapter that, like, lends itself to the story. You're just following a cat. and like there's a kid orgy. There's floating turtles in space. Like, what the fuck is this movie? This is book.
What are you doing, Stephen King? Anyway, okay, so the first hour, 15 minutes, hour, 20 minutes is getting all the gang back together.
Yeah.
And finally setting them on the quest. You need to find your tokens in order to take down Pennywise.
Yeah.
That's like Act 1.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, that's a long Act 1.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it can be trimmed out. But I also think a lot of the end can be trimmed as well.
I know, because there's a lot of the end where it's like, we did it. No, we didn't do it. Ah, shit. Okay.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
The end of the movie seemed very, very similar to the first movie.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, it's just the same ending. It's like watching the Donner cut of Superman 2. He turns the Earth around again to turn back time.
Yeah.
What are you doing? It's the same ending.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what I would like to see? This movie made as the book is kind of told, where the kid stuff and adult stuff is intertwined.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's not so separate.
Yeah.
I get that it works easier like that.
Yeah.
But, like, even in the 1990 television movie, the adult stuff is the worst stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the weaker stuff as well.
Yeah.
Just because you've seen it all already. You've
Yeah.
seen how this resolves already.
Yeah. Like, I think that the ending would have been better digested, like, going back and forth between the kids beating the fuck out of Pennywise and then the adults, like, belittling him to where he becomes smaller.
Yes.
Whereas, like, we just have to remember what we did before and then work our way into that again.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think, yeah, the story is better well taken with the idea that, like, the adults don't remember what happened.
Yeah.
Because then you can be like, well, fuck, then I don't know what they're... Like, if they don't know what they're doing, then I don't know what they're doing. And then you can go back and forth between them as adults and them as kids.
Yeah, kind of like how they did in this movie.
Yeah.
Just grab them as they're adults. You kind of have it cold, like, you don't know why these adults don't remember stuff, and then you get it all told in flashbacks.
Yeah.
And intersperse it until you get to the end of the movie.
I think that would probably be a better cut of it, for sure.
Yeah. Call us.
Call us.
We have two great ideas.
Hire us.
We have the freaking intercut It movie and Ass Face movie. Or Face Ass.
Face ass. Ass off.
Ass off. Call us. Our phones are open.
Yeah.
Send us a SMS text
Yeah.
message.
Get it. Drop in our DMs.
Shoot, what did I have? Oh, anyway. Okay, so then the whole token grabbing, the whole second act pretty much is like another 40 minutes where the characters aren't really interacting with each other.
Yeah.
And I felt like I liked a lot of this because this is where a lot of the, I guess, quote, horror is coming from.
Yeah. And a lot of the character building comes out of this too.
But then again, I was kind of like, this is wasting a lot of time.
Yeah. And then
In this movie.
and it feels like a lot of what they do separately is like the same thing but just done just for that character.
Yes.
Where it was like every scene was kind of built up the same way, where they enter a room and then it becomes more eerie.
Yeah.
And then it feels like something's about to happen.
And
then
was it
something
real or
scary
not
happens.
real?
Where it's like, yeah, like it feels like they just did the same scene over and over again with different circumstances because it's different characters.
Yeah. By the time, because they do it with every character.
Every character.
There's 6 of them at this point.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of time
Yeah.
spent on
Yeah.
this.
Like they killed Stanley just because like we can't do 7 of these.
We just can't.
Yeah, we have to kill one of them because Lord forbid we do fucking 7 of these
That's
goddamn.
a full-on hour.
Yeah,
God damn. But but then again, like, I liked that because that was like the horror aspect I was kind of looking for
yeah,
in the movie, and that's like where a big chunk of it is. So without it, then you don't really get a whole lot of horror in the movie.
yeah,
But even then, like, as I said before, it's like not as scary as, like, I don't know, part 1. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
what
and I think that's just like the strength of part one is that they seem so close in the first one because they are around each other for so much of it that you generally do feel like you want them to be together in order to stop this.
Yeah.
And like a lot of this one is that they have to kind of find themselves to stop it. Where it's like, well, then I don't feel what you are as a group like I did in the first one.
Right. So anyway, after the whole token grabbing scene, and then it comes to like Act 3, where it's like, let's go fuck up this clown, and they go back to like the old haunted house and
The old house and go back down the
back
well.
down the well and do the whole shit over again.
Yeah.
There was parts of that was kind of cool. I liked the old spider head part. That was kind of like Thing-esque.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of cool. I don't know. It's just a creepy old house. Kind of you don't know where they're going. It's kind of over fairly quickly until they
Yeah.
get down the well, and then they find themselves in like the belly of the beast, the
Yeah.
big chamber of it.
Yeah. They tried to use that fucking big wooden bullshit thing to stuff it back in.
Yeah. Which from the beginning I'm like, this isn't gonna
so,
work.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like once like Mike introduces the whole like ancient Indian Navajo bullshit, I was like, oh, okay, where are we going?
Yeah.
But I guess that's like what it's like in the book.
Yeah.
Like I've heard people like talk about like in the book it's way weirder. Where I was like, okay, I'll take this then.
Yeah. What is it? Do you know what it is in the book? Off the top of your
It's like
head?
the same thing in the book, but it's like they go into way more detail about like what they need to do to get it back into this fucking weird
Okay.
wooden cask or whatever.
Yeah.
In this, they're just like, we need to do this weird chant. I was like, okay.
All right. And the chant is pretty much, don't look at it. Don't look at it. That's not what it is, but it's pretty much like the Ark of the Covenant type shit. Don't look at it.
Yeah.
But anyway, they beat Pennywise. There you go.
Yeah. They do some shit at the
They
end.
do some shit. And it's like, at the end, it's like a big, like, action-y set piece where it, like, it's never really scary. It's kind of suspenseful a little bit.
Yeah.
But, like, I was looking for, like, more horror in this movie.
Yeah.
Where I felt like it was a little bit lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Even all the way up to the end. But I liked kind of like how it all kind of wraps up to be like a, I don't know, happy ending, I guess.
Yeah.
Happy-ish ending. Everyone's finally like, finally!
Everyone's living their lives.
Look at me, Bev and Ben on a boat.
They're so happy.
They're so happy, finally. I don't know. I've been talking forever. What do you got going on over there in your head?
Well, Troy, do you want to hear my crackpot theory?
Yes, obviously.
We've got people on pins and needles about what my crackpot theory of it, the entire series of it means. Okay, so when I was watching this, my first idea was like, this needs to be, I feel like this was about like how small towns like alienate people that they feel are different than them.
Okay.
Like that's kind of what I was getting from the first one, because a lot of it was
That
like,
first scene?
not the first scene, but like
The first movie.
in the first movie, where it was like you have this group called the Losers Club, and then like everyone around them kind of feels like they need to alienate them in some way, and I felt like it was kind of a like a critique on how small towns treat people that they don't really like accept.
Yeah.
Because everyone in the Losers Club has a certain like deficiency or something about them that makes them I'm a minority. Whereas like, well, I don't need to listen to you because you're this.
Yeah.
Because you're you have asthma or you have a stutter or whatever.
Or you're fat.
Or you're fat. Like, and then like the losers are like they come together to be like, well, we're not gonna let them get to us, and then they overcome it. And like it itself is like the manifestation of all these people's like judgment of them, like taking it out on the losers themselves. So that's what I thought what meant in the first one. But watching this and then getting all the way through it and then actually like I did like a lot. I did research for this where I was like, I feel like it's this, and like even the fact that there's 7 of the losers, I was like looking into this,
Okay.
and I was like, I feel like I have this nailed down. That it itself, the series from like the first movie and the second movie, is a critique on the modern take on Christianity.
Okay. Explain.
Okay, so when they first introduce it, it shows up in 3 light orbs,
Yeah.
which can be taken as
The Father, Son, and the
the Holy
Spirit.
Trinity.
Yeah.
And it enters this body, which is a clown, kind of like a joke, like something that's like a fool. And a lot of the times when it interacts with smaller children, like people that are more open to like
Influence?
yeah, it's way nicer. Like it tries to bring them in more like, well, if you don't do this, then people will think this of you, or well, people think this of you, and I don't. I think you're special, so come to me. And then when they come to him, then he consumes them. But when it comes to older kids like the losers, it goes through fear. And the losers themselves represent, because there's 7 of them, it represents
The deadly
the
sins.
7 deadly sins. And every single loser represents a certain sin.
Okay.
That I even like, hold on, let me find it. Every loser represents their own 7 deadly sin. So while I'm looking up, do you think you know which sin each loser represents?
Not all of them, no.
Okay. Hold on, here we go. Okay, so Bill, like the kid that loses Georgie,
Yeah.
he's pride.
Okay.
Because he tortures himself over the fact that he lost Georgie, and every time something comes up, he feels like he has to do it himself,
Okay.
which is pride.
Okay.
Richie is wrath,
Okay.
because he's in love with Eddie, and even though he loves him, he still takes it out on him by, like, making fun of him and, like, shit like that.
Yeah.
Beverly is lust,
Mm-hmm.
because everyone sees her as just, like, this girl that they could fuck, and then they even kind of... They, like, do, like in
Girl
the first,
that they could fuck.
like in the first one, that's all they fucking do. Even the dad is like kind of over sexualizes her,
Uh-huh.
and like they even insinuate that she was kind of sexual at a young age too. And then Ben is envy, because like he always looks at people. He's jealous of people with like average body types, and when he sees Bill and Beverly together, he's always like jealous of their connection they have with each other.
Okay.
Mike is sloth, because he always talks about how he saw his parents burn in front of him, and he talks about how he couldn't do anything even though they were in the same room together. And then when everyone else leaves the town, he still stays in the town, so he never leaves.
Okay.
And then Eddie is gluttony, because this one is a little more far-fetched, because like he's a hypochondriac, so like he takes things that he doesn't really necessarily need, so he ingests things he doesn't need. Even when he knows they're placebos, he still takes them, because he goes to the pharmacy and gets the same prescription his mom had when he knew they were placebos, and then when he gets uncomfortable, he takes them. So he unnecessarily takes something he doesn't need, which is gluttony.
Okay.
And then Stanley is greed, because the one thing that he fears the most is a painting, which is a physical object. So he values a physical object over other things.
Okay. Okay.
So every single loser stands for a 7 deadly sin, and Pennywise's whole thing to try and get them to like consume them is to take that sin and put it on them, where they feel like less of a person because they fear what they are, and what he wants them to feel like are their sins, which is modern day Christianity.
Okay. All right. I'm not completely against this theory, but it is a crackpot theory.
It is a crackpot theory. So the whole story of the entire movie, of both movies, is Pennywise trying to convince all the losers that they are their sins, and them having to overcome that by realizing they're more than what their sins are, and then beyond that, realizing that what Pennywise is nothing more than an idea that they're less than what they are, to where they beat him down to where you're not special, you're just a fucking clown, to where they beat him in the second one, and then they fucking tear out his heart.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. It's a lot to digest there.
Yeah.
When you said it's Christianity, I'm like, here we go.
See, yeah. I'm not saying like it's Christianity in general, because at the end the lights aren't destroyed. It's Pennywise itself, where I feel like it's the manifestation of what we've made Christianity.
I see.
Because they even have like this part where, the part where Mike like scratches out like the part. God damn it! I don't give a shit about flash flood warnings. So the part where they have that cask that they're supposed to store Pennywise in.
Yeah.
And Mike scratched out the part where Pennywise killed like the Indian people that tried to put him in it on the cask. That is man rewriting scripture to best suit how they feel it should be done.
My God. This is a heartburn-fueled acid trip you're going on.
It is. But I legit I thought it out, and I feel like it has like some sort of
merit.
Yeah.
All right. I can't say that it's not creative.
I think yeah. But like I feel like I do this on movies that I just can't fully understand. Like I need something to connect to. And like with this, like I was really like I was like, okay, well there's 7 of them. There's 7 deadly sins. And then I was like going through, I was like, they all kind of fit that. So what's Pennywise? And then I was like, well, if it's sins, then it's got to be Christianity. So what does he do? And then like all through this shit, like even like down to where Henry like is like influenced by him and then like acts out in like aggression and hate. Where like anytime he interacts with Pennywise, he's like, well then I fucking hate these people. Mm-hmm. And then he acts out by like torturing them or hurting them, like if in any way, shape, or form that he thinks are different.
Okay. All right, man. I can't say that I would have been drawn towards that answer. Anytime like I have something where it's like, I just need to understand this because it's just doesn't make any sense. I just go to fuck it, it's just sloppily written.
Yeah.
I don't usually try super hard to connect the dots.
But
because I'm like, I don't have the energy for this shit.
And then I have no life, so then I do this shit. But, like, I don't know. Like, when it comes to, like, watching something like this, especially when it's so fucking weird like this, because there's some weird-ass fucking shit in this movie. Mm-hmm. And, like, when it gets this weird, my instead of being like, fuck this, I'm like, there's gotta be a reason for this.
Sure.
So I will stew over it until I kind of figure out what I think it means.
Okay.
And granted, this is a fucking like out there blockbuster clown eating kids movie.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? But this is what I kind of drew from it.
Very good. I'm glad we got there.
Do you find it at all interesting? Maybe I'm just fucking crazy.
I really. Do I agree with it? No. Do I find it interesting? Yes. And very detailed. You went into way more detail than I ever thought. And the fact that I was even following you counts a lot. Because sometimes you're like, okay, now hear me out. I'm like, oh, okay. Here we go. And then you're saying shit like, I don't know, man. I can't agree with you on this. I followed everything you were saying.
Really?
And I was like, okay. Keep going. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't know, man.
I know. I invest way too much in these fucking crazy-ass fucking blockbuster movies just being like, I need something to connect to.
That's what I appreciate.
And it made me like it more, so I'm gonna be like, that's what they tried to say. At the end of the day, I'm gonna go with that in terms of like, oh, well, this is a fucking clown that was way too fucking lazy to eat a bunch of kids that he could have eaten any time.
Yeah. Anytime. We could have eaten them at any time.
It's turning me Irish. I'm so frustrated.
Well, that's what I appreciates about you.
Oh, hey, have you ever noticed?
Oh man. Well, all in all, what would you grade It Chapter 2 here?
It Chapter 2, like, given my crockpot theory,
Give me your theory.
I appreciates it more, but still, I think the second movie did not need to be as long as it was, even given my ideas, where it was like, you could have said this in way shorter time.
Yep.
And there's still things, even if you want to present it in a way where it's just a clown killing kids, it still makes no sense. But still, given what I think about it and what I think it's trying to say, I still find it interesting, so I'm going to give it a middle-of-the-road B.
Okay. I'm trying to see what we did. So for the first one, you did B+, and I did an A- for Chapter 1. For Chapter 2, I actually think I didn't... Overall, I didn't hate this movie at all, but I didn't feel like it hit on all the same cylinders as what I liked about the first one.
No, I feel you there.
And with the runtime being as long as it was, and a lot of time I felt just kind of spinning their wheels, I'm going to give this a C.
Okay.
So what'd you say, B?
B.
And I'm going to put a C. That's quite a dramatic drop for me.
Yeah.
From an A- to a C.
And it's like, if I did not come across my crackpot theory, I'd probably be right there with you, because a lot of this makes no fucking sense if you're trying to take it for face value.
Yeah. It Chapter 1 is probably one of my favorite horror movies. Like, I feel like it's well crafted and it's very well put together.
Yeah.
I still like a fun horror movie more than like a straight on like scary horror movie. So like my favorite is like Cabin in the Woods and like freaking Trick or Treat and those kind of horror movies.
I feel, even though it's gonna be hard to fit it in because I got a lot of our October packed, maybe for like a Monday show in October we could do like a decent scary movie.
That'd be fun. That'd be all right.
So I got some ideas that I think you would appreciate.
Okay. Very good. Cooking up something good.
Yep.
Very good. So what else you been into, JT?
Well, Troy, on top of trying to solve the world's problems through it, I saw the movie Ma.
Oh yeah?
I did see Ma, yeah.
Yeah?
I saw Ma. And it's pretty good. It gets so fucked up at the end. It's pretty straightforward up to like the last 10 minutes where like you almost kind of feel sorry for her up to that point where you're like, oh, you're a fucking crazy person. But like I feel like it's a fun critique on like people that can't let shit go from high school.
Okay.
Like I was like thinking about like, because like Molly and her friend from high school that she still has, like they constantly get together and like talk shit about people that they know from high school that they know got fat and shit, and they're like always talking about them. Where I'm like, why do you still care about those people? Like I think you and me, we've known each other since kindergarten.
Yeah.
We meet each other every fucking Wednesday. I don't think we ever talk shit about anyone from our high school.
Not very ever rarely.
Yeah.
Unless we've run into somebody.
Yeah.
And be like, guess what we saw, or whatever it is. But other than that, it never comes up.
Yeah, like the guy that probably bullied me the most, I see at my CrossFit class all the time, and I'm like, I'm really glad he's turned his life. Like he's actually like getting in better shape.
Good.
Where I'm like, who gives a shit about high school anymore? Like it always blows my mind. Like Molly's like, oh my god, this chick that always made my life insane got so fat, and I'm like, why are you happy about it? That's sad.
She's probably miserable.
Yeah, she's probably living off food stamps or some shit.
That's a leap in logic. But all right, go on.
Well, yeah, like, but Ma, like, it kind of like takes like that mentality and like drives it like times 1,000.
Okay.
Where she's just like trying to like fuck her crush's son, where you're like, oh god damn.
Oh,
But
Jesus
it's
Christ.
a good movie.
Okay. It's another Jordan Peele.
No, it's not Jordan Peele, but it's like done by Blumhouse.
Oh, I thought his name was on it.
No, like the director, the director is the same director of The Help.
Okay.
Like, cause like I guess how it came together was like Blumhouse gave him a movie to do, and Octavia Spencer, like from The Help, was like, I want to be in a movie where I'm not the good person.
Okay.
And he's like, all right. And then they came up with this where she's just like, and she's so fucking good, where like they even like put her in situations where it was like she's so nice, and then she'll just like turn on a dime where it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're still nice, so I'm gonna let this slide, but Jesus Christ, that's a little much right there. And then as it goes on, it's like, oh no, she was way more of that than she was the other person where she was nice. Like it's good. Like
Okay.
it's a cool slow build. And
All
it's
right.
only an hour and a half long.
Oh, perfect.
So yeah, I would suggest Ma. Ma's fun.
All right. Very good.
And me and Molly started jumping into What We Do in the Shadows, the
yeah.
TV series on FX. They put it on Hulu.
Yeah.
And it is fantastic.
Okay. Chelsea was just wondering that the other day.
Holy shit, it's funny.
Good.
It
Good.
is so good. Like they even hit like certain beats from like the movie that they do in this. And there's even like a part where like they do something where it seems like they did something wrong, and they have to be like judged by a council of vampires, and it's like the vampires from the movie.
Good.
So yeah, that's it. And then I have a podcast to bring up too.
Oh my.
That I've been slowly getting into. It's called Get Rich Nick,
Okay.
where it's from Earwolf, and it's these two guys that are friends called Nick that like are trying to do every single get rich quick scheme, and they do a show about them,
Mm-hmm.
and it is hilarious.
Okay.
Like the first one they do is like plasma donation,
Mm-hmm.
and like they were like, we did this one because we know this was like, we've been told this is like the surefire way to make money, because their whole goal is like they're gonna use the money they make from their schemes to finance the next scheme they do.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we're gonna do plasma donation because we heard that's the best way to make money. So between the two of us, we should be able to get like $300 in a week. And like, one guy got so jerked around, like he showed up, he went to 2 different sessions that they kept him for 3 hours both times, and he never donated a single drop of plasma. And they kept telling him that like his, like one time they sent him home because they said his mouth was too cold. And the other guy only was able to donate plasma once, and he said it was the worst experience he ever had in his entire life.
Holy shit.
And they promised him $75 for doing it, and they gave him $50.
God. So, have you ever donated plasma before?
No.
I have. So, like, when I was in... I don't remember what the reason was. I was probably desperate for money. So, I was trying to, like, donate plasma when I had a day off or whatever.
Yeah.
It is a chore. And I donate blood fairly quickly. But even, like, with that, like, donating it takes at least an hour.
Yeah.
Because they take out your blood,
Yeah.
they separate the plasma from the red blood cells,
Yeah.
and then they mix the red blood cells with like a saline solution and put that back into your body,
Yeah.
and then just leave the plasma or whatever.
Yeah.
The whole screening process is a motherfucker because that on your first time in takes probably an hour.
Yeah.
And there's like, at least the place I went to is like an actual like kind of written exam that's on like a computer screen. And then that's brought to like a person who reviews it. And then you have like a face-to-face interview
Yeah.
with another person.
Yeah.
And I've had to do that 4 times. That whole thing. Because if you go too long and don't donate,
Yeah.
you have to do it all over again. And that's what
Yeah.
I was doing because I couldn't go 3 times a week when they said you needed to. And so, like, I would go back in, do the whole thing over again, and there's one time I got through the whole thing again, and I was sitting in the chair with the face-to-face, and I was talking to the lady, and I just went like this. And, like, just scratched my nose, and she said, "Are you sick?" And I'm like, "No, it's just you keep this place at a cool 60 degrees so my nose is a little bit runny. Well, you're sick, you gotta go home. And turn me away after I'm already there for 90 minutes. I didn't even donate at all. I've only successfully donated twice.
Yeah.
And made at most $100 for my time and effort. And that was like I've probably spent 8 hours at a total of my life at a plasma donation place.
Yeah, I know. I love, like, listen to that episode because because I guess where they go, like, they'll keep you for 3 hours. And they said the one guy that was there where, like, he stayed for 3 hours and then they took his temperature right before they were about to take his plasma. And they were like, oh, your temperature's a little lower than we thought. So we have to send you home. So it's like, so because my mouth's a little colder, you're sending me home? And he, like, kind of raised a bit of a stink about it. He was like, well, okay, well, because you're kind of upset, we're going to give you this voucher for $5. You get an extra $5 when you officially donate. And then he was like, oh, okay. But then, like, he talked to someone in the lobby and they said that, like, a friend drove them there and they gave him a voucher for the same thing because he drove someone to give plasma.
Oh my god.
So it was like, they did this because they heard from a bunch of people that this is, like, the most surefire way to make money, so to fund the rest of their get-rich-quick schemes.
Yeah.
But they only made $50.
Fucking A. What's that called? I'm going to subscribe to it right now.
Get Rich Nick. Because their second one, they go to horse races, and they talk about, like, they bring a friend with them that knows how to do it, and they said it's, like, it's the most frustrating shit. Because it's like there's so many, like, code words you need to know when you're actually betting, because they kind of treat it like when you're doing, like, when you're, like, shooting craps, like, you have to know the exact lingo of what you want to bet on, otherwise the dealer's gonna look at you like you're a fucking idiot. Where, like, you have to know all this certain things to say when you're betting on horses, otherwise you're gonna hold the line up, and then like the lady behind the window is gonna, like, look at you like you're a fucking psycho. So, like,
I wouldn't know how to bet on horses.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, like, they're like certain horses you have to, like, say you want them to, I can't remember the names, but it's like there's, like, horses, like, to clean or whatever the fuck, where it's like if you, like, say you want a horse to clean, then it's like if they get first, second, or third, then you get money. But then if, like, enough people bet on that certain horse for that certain bet, then you could bet, like, $3 and then get back a nickel.
God.
Whereas, like, so, like, they go into all this different shit about, like, horse racing where I'm like, this sounds miserable. But then one guy got so addicted to it that he downloaded an app on his phone and did it all day on a Sunday. It's a good podcast. Get Rich Nick.
Okay, I've already got it freaking downloading on my phone right now.
That's all I've been into.
I saw a few things. I think we're gonna drop HBO here in just a little bit, so we've kind of been, like, ingesting everything that they have on it right now, which kind of bums me out because there's a few things on there that I really ended up liking. Well, one thing in particular. So we watched Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah.
On there. I don't think it recaptures the magic of the first one, though
not even with Lin-Manuel.
Not even with Lin-Manuel. And granted, I didn't watch this one fully. I was kind of in and out of the room at this one because I really didn't have an interest in it at first.
Yeah.
It does have, like, a touching ending. And there's a few parts in it where I'm like, oh man, that's really sad.
Yeah.
But I'm like, was this really that sad in the first movie? Like, the whole... I don't think it was. I haven't seen the first movie in, like, probably 15 years, but...
Yeah.
The second movie hinges on the son of the original movie growing up in his house of his father.
Yeah.
And you don't ever see the wife because the wife dies.
Jesus.
And he's, like, a struggling artist and trying to keep up with the finances now and is going to lose his house because he doesn't have enough money to pay for the house and the kids and everything. And so the bank is going to repossess his house if he doesn't come up with these banknotes that his dad had.
Why is there so many movies with evil banks? Where it's like, we're going to take your shit.
Anyway, that whole part was sad. I don't know if Emily Blunt is, like... is like a good representation of Mary Poppins either.
Yeah.
She's,
I kind of want to go back and rewatch the old Mary Poppins.
it's really good. And I don't think any of the songs are as catchy either.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because, like, my mom watched Mary Poppins a lot when she was
Yeah.
a kid, and so she would sing them around the house, like Spoonful of Sugar and all that kind of
Well,
stuff.
I think I heard that they're going to put Mary Poppins on like a Disney Plus. Maybe we can do that for a show
Okay.
or something somewhere down the line.
I really like Mary Poppins.
I
It's
don't think I've
good.
ever seen Mary Poppins all the way through.
Oh, I've seen it like a bunch of times, probably 20 times at least.
Shit.
Yeah. Anyway, that's good. I also watched the entire season 4 and season 5 of Silicon Valley in one day.
Jesus.
So
So you hated it.
So last Sunday was like a rainy, dreary day, and me and Chelsea were up early,
Yeah.
and I'm like, we saw a trailer for season 6,
Yeah.
and we're like, let's just see where we left off on that. And we left off like pretty early in season 4.
Yeah.
So we just started it all over, and then went through all of season 5 up until like 11 o'clock that night.
God.
And finished it all. Like, they're only like 8 episodes a season,
Oh, yeah.
and they're only like a half an hour
oh
each.
yeah, that's good.
So, like, granted, it's like 8 hours of something
Mm-hmm.
on TV, but like, God, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's really good, and I'm really looking forward to where they go now in season 6, because now it's their last season and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only reason I kind of want to keep HBO, is to finish
Well-
Silicon Valley.
Maybe I'll hook you up with my parents' HBO Go again.
Okay, we'll talk.
We'll talk.
And the last thing I watched
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
was we give guff about this anytime like the Emmys come up,
yeah.
but Chelsea started watching Schitt's Creek. And I've caught a few episodes, and it's not terrible, but I'm still not into it yet, and I watched probably like 5 episodes of it.
Oh fuck.
It's kind of a breeze, and it's not at all what I thought it was.
Yeah.
So now that I know what it is, I'm like, okay, this is kind of funny. Like, a super rich family gets screwed out of their millions of dollars,
Yeah.
and like, as a joke, the Eugene Levy character, the dad of the family,
Yeah.
bought a town for his son for a gag gift.
Yeah.
And it's this Schitt's Creek. And so now that's the only place they can live at, is this town that they own.
That's
that-
actually kind of good.
Yeah. And they live in this shitty motel because that's the only place that they have any place to stay.
Oh.
And the mayor of the town is freaking Ma Germs from Scary Movie.
Chris Elliott?
Yeah. And he is fucking great. And like, it kind of reminds me of
fuck.
like, kind of like a, maybe like a Curb Your Enthusiasm meets, maybe like Arrested Development.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not all bad, but I still am not completely on board with it.
Yeah.
But like, the 5th season is starting soon. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you
Schitt's
go.
Creek, not all bad. So JT, if people want to shit in your creek, where can they do so?
Open up and like message me.
Oh
at
my god.
Bucky for everyone on Twitter.
Open up.
And I don't fucking know. Bucky Front on Twitter and Bucky Front on Instagram and Bucky Front on Snapchat. Troy.
You can follow me at Troy to the Max on Twitter. You can hit us up both at Review Pod on Twitter as well. We have several things to hit us up on that little.
Been elbowing my goddamn mic stand all goddamn night.
we have a ton of stuff we asked you to contribute on the good old Twitterverse this episode. Go back in the app and figure them out. I can't remember what it was. One was like bullshit, and one was hashtag bullshit, hashtag
I don't fucking
fucking something. It was at the very beginning of the episode.
yeah.
Check it out sometime.
Realize we've been drinking this whole show.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm feeling okay already.
I'm feeling pretty good too.
All of our episodes are uploaded onto reviewpod.podbean.com as well as a slew of other sites. If you want to suggest this show to a friend, we are also available on Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Google Podcasts, I should say, and Apple Podcasts.
yeah.
And if you happen to listen to us on Apple Podcasts, rate and review us there, because a good review there helps other people find the show. If you want to write in, which I think somebody wrote into another episode, the other show I do, not this one. You can do so at reviewpod@gmail.com.
We're getting Trump type emails over there.
We got charm type email last time.
Holy shit!
Yeah, don't you fucking worry about it over there, okay?
Well, it's okay.
Okay.
I know the charm that Sea Danger has.
Oh wait, we do have one.
What?
I forgot. It's not a charm type one.
Fuck! Male scream. Where the fuck did it go? I don't fucking know where it is. Ah!
Okay. It's from OJ.
What?
Sorry, I forgot to put it early on in the show, but here it is.
All right, here we go.
Hey, gents. Oh, is the subject. Top 5 movies.
Oh, shit.
Hey, gents. So after thinking about it for a few days, here are my own personal top 5 movies. Number 5, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, my God.
The epitome of cool for my generation.
Oh, man.
Number 4, Iron Man. Maybe not the best MCU movie, but it's a top 5 and the one that started it all.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. The best of the franchise. I had to put one of these on there. Number 2, Dark City.
Oh.
Came out a few weeks before The Matrix and sort of took the same general theme, but did it a lot better.
I've always been curious to check out Dark City.
I like Dark City.
Yeah?
Yeah. And freaking, fuck, why can't I think of his name at the perfect point in time? Who's on 24?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland is a fucking weirdo in that movie.
No.
You'll love it. Number 1, Slapshot. This is such a classic comedy. I really hope you guys have seen it. If you have not, I can't even. I watched this so many times, I wore out my VHS
That's
copy.
the one with Paul Newman, right?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Way to out yourself to OJ.
Suck it, OJ. Never seen it. How do you like that? Since I'm taking the time to actually write you guys an email, I really want to hear what Joel really thinks of Cornette. Wrestling talk.
Oh.
I think his shtick mostly is a work at this point. I mean, I get that he prefers old school stuff, but I think his over-the-top criticism is a work. Peace out, and keep up the good work. Signed, OJ.
Oh, yeah. Wrestling talk. Okay, Cornette, yeah. I feel like he's definitely a work. I feel like what he does is to just mainly... he's like pretty much like a wrestling Trump, even though he'll go on his show and like badmouth Trump all the time.
Uh-huh.
But like he's definitely in that means where he says what he knows his base of fans wants to hear.
Yeah.
And he will like inspire them to like definitely talk shit to people that are generally trying to make a living in wrestling.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like as much as a work as it is just like kind of clickbaity stuff. Like a clickbaity little snippet of something that he says.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like necessarily a full-on, I don't know.
Like,
I don't listen to enough of his stuff because like anytime I see that one little snippet that's taken out, I'm just like, come on.
it's a work in the sense that he will go on a show and he will talk shit about someone that's exposing the business on a show where he exposes the business.
Yeah.
So it's like he's a fucking idiot. In that sense. I will still go back and listen to what he has to say because like through the insanity that he has, he does raise good points that I do use for my general idea of how I feel I should work in my wrestling.
Yeah.
But still, he's fucking out there.
Yeah.
It's like he's like a fucking lab rat that you like fucking throw random shit at him and then it's like, well, I think I got a good idea out of this. I mean, it's all fucking bullshit, but I got an idea out of this.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why he made as much money as he did. It's just that he's so out of touch that a lot of the shit that he says is bullshit, but if you can decipher what's bullshit from what's good, I think he's worth listening to. You just can't take what he says seriously.
Very good. I agree with that.
And that's what I usually do. Like
Okay.
I still listen to his shows because he raises general good ideas that I do take for my own work, but beyond that, he is a fucking psychopath.
Very good. Make sure you in the description. Make sure we got a letter in there late because
Gotcha.
I thought it was for Charm Type, but it was definitely for this show.
Gotcha.
And
I will
bad,
say. I will
OJ.
say that.
I read it earlier in the week, and I'm like, gotta remember we have a letter, and I fucking forgot it. God damn it. Sorry, OJ, but we got it in there at the last minute. So, come Monday, JT, we're gonna do another.
Monday, we're gonna shoot the shit again. Don't even know what we're gonna talk about, but it's gonna happen.
It's gonna be off the cuff, and it's gonna be real good.
It's gonna
probably.
happen. It's gonna happen. It might be good. I don't fucking know. It's like past 10:30, and I'm a bunch of beers deep because the fucking bar that I went to get my food really jerked me around. So
Yeah.
I think I had 3 beers there waiting for my food.
Oh,
And then
Jesus.
I came here
and then just cracked more open.
and then cracked more open.
And we had to wait until my daughter went to bed before
Yeah.
we could even start, so
I
I,
was-
didn't saddle Chelsea
yeah.
with 2 kids.
I was playing Play-Doh like a motherfucker with her, trying to like give you guys some reprieve.
You did very well.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. But that'll be the show.
That'll be the show. And then Thursday, we're gonna do our review Tournament Random Movies 6 winner.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping up with our Stephen King September with the Stephen King written story turned to a movie, Misery.
Misery.
And I'm gonna drop this on you, Troy. I think the only place you can rent this is the PlayStation Store.
What?
Yeah, I went online. You can only buy it on Amazon. You can only rent it on PlayStation.
You can only buy it on Amazon?
Well, no, you can buy it anywhere. But it
But
was
on
like-
Amazon, you can only
on
buy
Amazon
it.
you can only buy it. But you can
God
rent. The only
damn
place
it.
that I found that is like you can reach to rent it is PlayStation.
I'm looking it up right now. Did you already watch it?
I have not watched it yet, but I haven't. Molly pointed out an app where you can type in whatever you want, and then it'll show you what you can do in terms of like the different apps that are out there.
I have one right here. If you have Fandango now, you can rent it for $2.99.
Fuck.
But everything else, yeah, you have to buy it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know that on the app that I have, it says if you have PlayStation, you can rent it.
Well, I do.
But so there you go. I hope you're happy, you fuckers. Voting for this bullshit.
God damn it. Even YouTube doesn't have a cut of it
No.
that I can... Well, maybe it does.
Oh. Uh-oh.
But it might be in chunks. It's in less than 5-minute chunks. No, I'm not fucking
fuck.
doing that. Alright, well, we'll figure it out. If anything, I'll...
If you have a subscription to Fubo, you can watch that. What the fuck
Whatever.
What the fuck is Fubo?
We'll figure it out. Anyway, that'll be the show. Come back Monday for a Shooting the Shit ep, where me and Jewel just talk about whatever's on our fucking minds. And
I might start my free trial on Fubo to watch this.
Fubo.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Fuck it. Yeah. tune in on Monday for our Shooting the Shit.
Yeah.
And then a possible ad for Fubo.tv on Thursday when we talk about Misery.
Yeah. So until next time, I've been Short of the Max Extreme.
I am JG3K.
And we are off.